헐, 방금 조이 웃었어, 그쵸?
In the name of the goddess and the six, you will lay down your arms and submit to our swords.
What?
Stay there. Do not make a move.
Search the premises. Let no one leave.
What in the name of the
고릴라
six is
인형은
going on?
아직은
Spare us the theatrics, publican. We know that you shelter rebels.
Rebels? Of course not. This is a peaceful and law-abiding establishment.
If that is the case, you will receive an official apology and recompense from the office of the emissary. But I'm afraid we cannot take your word for it.
The cellar is clear. There's no one else in here, Apostle.
I'll take the second floor myself.
자, 2층으로 그러면 직접 올라가 보겠습니다. 나의 검수를 받아라. 애들이 힘을 못 쓰는 것 같아, 얘한테. 얘한테는 힘을 못 쓰는 거죠. 방금 뭔가 그림자가 이상했는데. 저도 프로니까 그런 거 신경 안 쓰겠습니다. 공격할 때까지 기다려야 돼요. 하하! 데미지가 약해. 차라리 이거 하나 때리는 게 데미지가 훨씬 세. 공격 하나만 흘리면 바로 때릴 수 있어요. 벽 속으로 사라져라! 한 번 더. 한 번 더. 빨리 가야 돼.
Do not make a move, witch. What is your name?
말하지 않아.
I'll give you one last chance to save your neck, witch. You will help me find someone, or you will die. And not just you. We will send the proprietor of this tavern to Sadir to stand trial for treason. As for your friends who've just left harbor, their ship will be boarded and the supplies confiscated. Do you know how the Azadi punish smugglers?
Please.
Their feet and hands are bound. They are weighed down with metal, and then they are dropped into the ocean.
Please, let them be. They carry only medicine and food.
I have no quarrel with you or your compatriots. I seek only one person. The one my people call the Scorpion.
The Scorpion?
누구지?
What do you know of him?
If I tell you about the Scorpion, will you let us go, Benrime? Me, the shipment?
No. But if you lead me to the Scorpion, then yes, I will let you and your friends go. You'll have your food and medicine.
Leave the boat be, Azadi. Please, there are no weapons aboard. It poses no harm to your people.
It's in your hands now.
Very well. I will take you to the Scorpion, but only if you give me your word that you will harm no one else.
You have my word.
May the stars forgive me for what I am about to do.
어떻게 되는 거지? 아, 여기 조이네구나. 브라이언 웨스트하우스랑 조이죠. 약간 구조가 좀 이상한 것 같은데. 뭔가 공중에 떠있는 느낌이랄까. 이거 딱 두 명만 있는 건가요, 여기?
How are we doing?
Just fine. This ship's a real beauty. She basically flies herself. She just needs a tiny nudge now and again, but other than that...
So, Mr. Westhouse?
Call me Brian, please.
Brian. When did you come to Arcadia?
Oh, that was a long time ago. Too long. I traveled across the divide in 33. 1933, that is.
What? And you're how old exactly?
Well, I may be getting on, but I'm not that old. No, I got unstuck from time, and I was caught between worlds for a while. Not a pleasant experience by any measure of things, but I got out, and I made a life for myself in Mercuria. I'm never going back to Stark. And I'm fine with that.
이건 1편에도
I've
나왔던
made peace
내용이죠.
with my past. Arcadia is my home now.
출신.
Where in Stark did you come from?
Boston, USA. Back when there was a USA. Hell, back when there was a Boston.
They're still there, both of them. How did you end up here? Are you a shifter?
Most certainly not. I mean, if I was, I would probably have gone back at some point. No, I made my way through the divide by more unconventional means. I'm not that old, mind you. Something happened that got me unstuck from time. It wasn't the best idea I ever had, but still, here I am in good health, and with all my limbs intact. I shouldn't complain.
Have you seen a lot of this world?
I'd say so. When Mercuria was invaded by the Tyrant hordes 10 years ago, I was forced to leave the city. I first traveled east across the Northlands to a place called Irhad, the Sun Empire, and then south across the Great Ocean to the continent called the Southlands. After that, well, there's not much left in this world that I haven't seen. I've even been to the Azadi Empire. But I have to say that I like the Northlands, and Mercuria best of all. It feels like home.
타이렌.
What are the Tyran?
They were a barbaric people who lived on the western plains. 10 years ago, they invaded Mercuria.
Were?
The Azadi killed them all when they liberated the city. If there are any left, they're few and scattered. The Tyrant took the city during a time of great upheaval, but they didn't hold it long. The Azadi arrived in their ships soon after and drove them out. It's almost frightening how quickly the Tyrant were wiped out. The Azadi showed no mercy.
Where did the Azadi come from?
Far west. Almost 10 days' journey by boat. In their airships, however, or cloud ships, it doesn't take many days to cross the ocean.
You've visited their continent.
I've passed through it, so to speak. Their capital, Sadir, is just amazing. It's built across a huge river delta where 6 rivers meet. It's a holy place.
They let you just wander freely through their city?
I passed as a traveler in their lands. It's not closed to outsiders, and as long as you respect the Azadi and their customs, they give you passage. It's such a different culture from what we're used to, but they're an interesting people, and I found my visit to be highly educational. What they're doing in Mercuria, though, it's certainly controversial. On one hand, they brought freedom and peace. On the other hand, they've rounded up the Magicals, stuck them in a ghetto, and God knows what they intend to do with them next.
When do we get to the Dark People's city?
From what our feathered friend said, it'll be another day or so. Are you okay?
Yeah. I'm just feeling a bit restless.
Well, there's not much to do here. You can look around the cabin for a bit, talk to Crow, or take a nap back in the hold. There's a bed there.
Thanks. Maybe I will.
비행선에 오른 지 이틀째야. 내 몸에서 냄새가 나기 시작하는 것 같아. 그 외에는 좋아. 웨스트하우스 씨와 크로우는 좋은 여행이고 해먹도 상당히 편하네. 해먹도 편하네? 해먹이 편안한가? 한 번도 해먹에 안 올라가 있어서. 실은 또 졸음이 몰려오고 있어. 낮잠 좀 자야겠어. 내 말은 달리 할 일도 없잖아. 크로우랑 일단 대화를 해볼까?
I'm feeling seasick.
Seasick? Aren't you used to flying?
Flying, yes. Flying is no problem. Flying is flapping your wings and praying for a good tailwind. This isn't flying. This is torture.
So why don't you jump out there and fly instead?
What? And catch a cold? Are you kidding me? You do know that it's freezing out there, don't you? And it's not like I can keep up with this infernal machine. My wings are made for comfort flying, not marathons. No, I'll stay here. I'll just find a corner to go throw up in instead.
Nice. What's it like being a talking bird?
My beak is a finely tuned instrument of love. When I speak, girls tremble. And also guys. Guys tremble too, but not in the same way.
Right.
april.
How long have you known April?
That depends on how you look at it. We go way back. But I haven't really seen her since way back.
What happened?
She sent me on my merry way. She wanted to go find herself, which actually means go lose everyone else. I can recommend it, though. It's very liberating. I went off to find myself recently, and I have nothing but good things to say about it. You see, I was about to get married, and...
To a bird? I mean, not a woman. Well, yes, a woman. A female bird. Someone with wings, like you.
Yes, that's right. A bird. Anyway, so the idea of settling down, building a nest, starting a family... I don't know, I started freaking out. So I went on a journey of inner discovery.
You went on a journey of discovery?
Inner discovery. A quest for personal understanding. A mission of self-realization. A voyage of inward fulfillment. A trek to the...
Okay, yes, I get it. You wanted to find yourself.
It's brilliant. You desert everyone, abandon your responsibilities and relationships, and focus completely on your own personal misery. It's a douche for the soul.
You know, Crow, I think you may have misunderstood what finding yourself is all about.
What? No, April showed me how it's done. I can't believe I didn't do it sooner. I feel so much lighter. Not a care in the world. Except for, the total and abject misery in my heart and soul.
내적 발견이라고?
So you abandoned your fiancé to go on a selfish journey of inner discovery?
Abandoned is a strong word. Left? Deserted? Forsook? Yes, and yes. Slipped away in the dead of night? Sure. But it was all for the best. I obviously wasn't ready to, become a responsible, grown-up, magical bird. Where does one go to find oneself, I asked. Granted, I only asked myself, and I probably should have gotten a second opinion, but there you go. So I decided to seek the center of all wisdom and knowledge in Arcadia.
This Dark People's City?
No. Some fortune teller in Zan. She stiffed me. It was actually blind luck that I ended up in the Dark People's City. I never intended to go there, but it was a real blessing, I tell you. These guys, they let me read anything I wanted. And I've learned a lot. Like, for example, did you know that a Diavan water snake can grow to be almost 200 meters long? I didn't. I didn't really want to find out either, because now I'm really freaked out by water, but there's not much else to do in the place except read.
성우랑 정말 잘 어울리는 것 같아요.
Read, sleep, read, go to the bathroom, and read at the same time. It's really very, very dull. But all that introspection gave me perspective. I wisened up, and now I'm ready.
Ready to get married?
Ready to admit that I'm scared out of my feathers about getting married. So no, still on that journey.
결론은 안 한다고.
About April.
I don't understand what happened to her. Oh, she was the sweetest, prettiest, nicest girl you could have ever imagined. And she was a real trooper. Save the world and all. You don't see a lot of people doing that these days. But things didn't turn out the way she thought they would. She couldn't go back to her world, first because she was afraid, and then later because she lost her powers. On top of that, the Azadi were after everyone from Stark. Everyone with special powers, everyone who was allied with the Magicals. In the end, I think April just snapped. She was so angry, she felt so betrayed. She had to take it out on someone. Fortunately, she decided to take it out on the Azadi. I wanted to stick with her, I really did, despite the yelling and the bitterness. But in the end, she just up and left me. Right in the middle of nowhere, too.
아,
I tried looking for her, but after a while I gave up. I got the distinct feeling she didn't want me around anyway. So, I left to begin a new life.
I don't think there's anything you could have done, Crow. Sometimes the people we know and love change, and sometimes that means we have to move on.
애프릴의 힘.
What powers did April lose?
Her special thingy, being a shifter. First, she didn't want to go back to Stark, and then, one day, she couldn't. Her powers went poof, and no one knows why.
What?
What?
Why did you go, ooh?
Because it's spooky. Also, I like saying it. It makes my beak vibrate.
You don't think she lost her powers because she felt her powers were the cause of her misery?
It's... Of course I wouldn't know what... Huh?
Seems to me that she was scared about facing reality again, and she decided that her powers would only bring more pain. So she lost them.
Oh, that's, psychology, isn't it? Oh, brilliant. You human females from Stark are really clever. So, hey, if we hit April with a really big frying pan, she'll come to her senses, right?
What? No.
Yes, it's called therapy. I read about it somewhere.
아니야, 그거는
Well,
충격법이야.
not read, more like
충격요법.
heard. In a seedy tavern near the docks. After 11
클로즈업
thimbles
되는
of
거지?
Mary Minstrom's
그쵸.
yellow fire. Just before dawn. On a Monday. But I remember the fella who told me. Big lad.
두기님, 하이.
Arms as thick as oak trees. A stunning collection of scars. Nice
미안할
eye
필요
patch.
없어요.
A
잡으면
real
자는 거지.
therapist he was. Wait, maybe it was rapist.
It was nice chatting with you, Crow. It's been very informative.
Glad to help, doll.
Doll?
I mean, independent and self-reliant female person who's not an object to be ogled at or used solely for my own personal amusement and pleasure.
야, 영어 진짜 잘한다. 부럽다. 그러면은 일단 뭐 내일 낮에 뭔가 굉장히 우창하게 이렇게 좀 씬을 만들었는데